The ASUS ROG Strix Z790-F gaming Wi-Fi is a high-end motherboard through and through, with a powerful VRM configuration, and it's overloaded with features to back it up. It's nice to see that ASUS has taken note of what features can help make themselves stand out above the rest, while offering uncompromising performance. Starting with the VRMs, the Z790F packs a very strong setup. Its 16+1+2 phase configuration can easily power even a Core i9-14900K at 5.9 GHz, which means you can practically overclock any CPU on this motherboard. The VRMs are also cooled incredibly well thanks to the massive heatsink covering every single inch. Even under load, the VRMs stay well below 60 degrees Celsius and show no signs of thermal throttling whatsoever. While the VRM design on the Z790F is certainly impressive, this board has perhaps one of the absolute best rear I/O configurations I've ever seen. There are a total of 12 USB ports, with 4 USB 2.0 Type-A ports for plugging in peripherals, while the rest of the USB ports operate at USB 3.2 speeds or faster. This USB port config is the perfect balance for any type of a motherboard, and more vendors should put at least a couple of USB 2.0 ports, since they'll be occupied by a mouse and keyboard anyway. Not only that, this board also has a full-array audio jack, including optical SPDIF that's connected to the Realtek ALC 4080 codec. So, if you're an audio enthusiast, you should be pretty happy with this setup. You also get Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, BIOS flashback, and CMOS clear buttons, HDMI and DisplayPort, and a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port, so you're pretty much covered for everything. If you need Thunderbolt, then you can also install an add-in card thanks to the Thunderbolt 4 connector on the bottom of the motherboard. Now, if we move on to the PCIe connectors, ASUS has actually done a decent job of putting 3x16 slots and a by 1 slot. It looks like a good setup, but I don't think it's going to be very useful. Firstly, once you plug in a graphics card on the top slot, the only by 1 slot will be completely covered up, no matter how slim the graphics card is. Secondly, the top by 16 slot is a PCIe 5.0 slot that shares bandwidth with the top M2 slot. Since the M2 slot is also a Gen 5.0 slot, the PCIe 5.0 by 16 slot will switch to by 8, which defeats the purpose of having the slot to begin with. It's not that dire of a situation, it's just that the PCIe layout could have been more well thought out. I'm pleased to say that aesthetically, ASUS has a track record of making some impressive looking motherboards, and this one is no exception. The whole anti-RGB all-black look, with minimal banding on the heatsinks, makes it almost too easy to fit inside any type of PC. I guess the Strix logo on the VRM heatsinks is quite big and could have been toned down a little, but even then, it's perfectly serviceable. While the ASUS ROG Strix Z790-F gaming Wi-Fi is an amazing motherboard, there are so many great motherboards in this price category, so there's a lot of competition. The most standout choices are the Gigabyte Z790 Aorus Elite X Wi-Fi 7, the MSI Mag Z790 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, the MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi, and the Gigabyte Z790 Aero G. All of these are fantastic motherboards with similarly powerful VRMs and unique features of their own. And yet, the ASUS ROG Strix Z790F gaming Wi-Fi managed to edge out all of them due to it offering more features. In conclusion, if you're looking for a top-of-the-line motherboard with everything you could ask for, then the ASUS ROG Strix Z790F gaming Wi-Fi should satisfy all your needs. Whether you're planning a build today or for the future, it's packed with a strong VRM and a hefty I/O to cover whatever you need to accomplish at an affordable price. To sum up, what I like is the excellent VRM configuration, the perfect rear I/O, and the gorgeous design. On the downside, PCIe slots aren't spaced evenly, and heavy PCIe lane bifurcation. Ratings: VRM design, 8.5 out of 10. Features, 9.5 out of 10. Aesthetics, 9 out of 10. Value for money, 8.5 out of 10. For an overall rating of 9 out of 10.